Good day, everybody. My name is Ian Plenderleith, and I'm the Chief Financial Officer of Solve.Care Foundation. It's a pleasure to have the opportunity to present this important financial update to you all today. Financial update. We now move on to the agenda for today's presentation. There are 3 items on the agenda today. Firstly, Treasury governance. Secondly, Solve.Care's 15-year Treasury Release Plan. And thirdly, Solve availability and growth. What Solve.Care will be doing to invest in Solve availability. Moving on to agenda item 1, Treasury governance. Solve.Care has been listening to the views of its community and also been looking at best practice in terms of Treasury governance. As a consequence, we have now implemented a new model for Treasury governance. As a result, we have created the Treasury Release Authority. The Treasury Release Authority is made up of current members of the board. It has the authority to approve and amend the long-term token release plan and the authority to approve each year's token release. To enable it to do that efficiently and professionally, we have implemented a new process for token release. A business purpose proposal will be made by Solve.Care senior management. This will be reviewed and challenged by the Treasury Release Authority, and once it is satisfied with that, it will sign a resolution approving each release and the long-term release plan. Within that approval, it will approve the maximum amount of tokens that can be released in any one year, and at the end of each year, will have the authority, should it deem necessary, to burn any unused tokens. Looking at the plan, the 15-year Treasury Release Plan that has been approved by the authority. Sets a limit for the maximum number of tokens that can be released over the lifetime of the plan. The maximum number of tokens that can be released over the lifetime of this plan is 470 million. It is 470 million as it does not include team tokens, which are not part of this plan. As mentioned earlier, any unused tokens may be burned or returned to Treasury at the discretion of the authority. The token year runs from May the 1st to April the 30th, and this new release plan replaces the previous plan of 12 months notice. Moving over to the right-hand side of the screen and the detail of the approved release plan. I'd like to draw your attention to the fact that to date, Solve.Care has taken extreme care with the use of the tokens in the Treasury. To date, only 65 million tokens have been released, and those were to satisfy just over a third of our obligations to our team. Only a third, in spite of the fact that to date, the team has completed the platform and now 5 networks: DCAN, NEMT, TeamCare, PRP, and of course GTHE, which we are just completing. For the company itself, 350 million tokens were sold during the ICO. The company has made very efficient use of these tokens during this period. We have stretched them out. We have not released any since that point, and have stretched them out to enable us to build, as I mentioned earlier, 5 networks and the platform. However, having now completed 5 networks and the platform, it is imperative that we improve access and availability to the Solve token to ensure that the global community is able to access it and access Solve.Care's systems and networks. This moves nicely into topic 3, Solve.Care availability and growth, and what we will be doing to invest and improve Solve availability and growth. This can be broken down into 5 key areas in token year 5. Our focus will be in the following parts. Firstly, and most importantly, as I mentioned earlier, Solve availability and liquidity. Secondly, investment in the community. Third, investing in new care networks. Fourth, investing in new partnerships. Fifth, raising capital for GTHE, which has already been independently valued at over $100 million. All of the above will lead to a massive adoption of Care Wallet, Care Platform, and Solve Utility. Taking each of these now in turn, Solve availability and liquidity. As I mentioned earlier, Solve.Care has now completed 5 networks and the platform. It is essential that we improve global access to these networks and the platform. We will only be able to do so by making significant investment in trading platforms. This will improve liquidity, will improve global availability and access to the token, and will significantly improve the ease of buying and selling of Solve across the globe, enabling access to the networks, the platform, and of course, massive adoption of Care Wallet, Care Platform, and Solve Utility. Secondly, investing in the community and empowering the community. I mentioned earlier, we have now completed the platform. Solve.Care is looking forward to working with the global community to enable it to build care cards, care journeys, care networks, care nodes on our platform. And also, whilst doing so, earning Solve for themselves, and significantly increasing access to care for everybody across the world, regardless of geography or economic status. Again, leading to significant increases in the adoption of Care Wallet, Care Platform, and Solve Utility. And of course, achieving that through investment into access and availability of Solve across the world. 3, investing in care networks. I mentioned earlier that Solve.Care has already completed and built 5 care networks. Here on this slide are the 4 care networks where we'll be focusing in the year ahead. Mental health, 360-degree pediatric care, remote patient monitoring, suicide prevention, and others to come. Of course, each of these networks again will continue to drive utility of Care Wallet, Care Platform, and Solve Token. And that utility will be driven and underpinned by investment in access and availability of Solve across the world. 4, investment in partnerships. Over the past few months, the team in Solve.Care has been working hard with a range of potential suppliers and partners to help us continue to develop Solve. We have been working with medical device companies, online pharmacies, healthcare solution integrators, and blockchain protocol providers, all of which with a focus on driving a global adoption of Care Wallet, Care Platform, and Solve Utility, and all of which, of course, will require investment in access and availability to Solve. Number 5, raising capital for GTHE. Pradeep and myself have been working hard over the past few months to look for the best ways to raise capital for GTHE. We have had GTHE independently valued at over $100 million. Based upon that, we issued a target to raise for ourselves some $20 million. A funding team has now been assembled, including lawyers and investment bankers, and we very much hope and expect that the funding round will go live in the second half of November. It will be conducted under US rules Reg D and Reg S. Reg S specifically, as that allows the global community to participate. To date, we are encouraged. We have seen strong initial interest. And again, regarding Solve availability, I point out here that in year 3 of this independently verified network, GTHE, we are estimating that 600 million of annual turnover in Solve by 2025. Again, leading to the massive adoption, Care Wallet, Care Platform, and Solve Utility, and of course, the need for significant investment in access and availability of Solve. So, in summary, Solve.Care has improved its governance. We have established a Treasury Release Authority and a 15-year plan. In this year, the board has authorized 65 million tokens to be released. These will be released in a phased manner across the year, depending on business needs. So, to summarise, we will be investing in the community, we'll be investing in new care networks, be investing in new partnerships, be investing in raising capital for GTHE, again raise at over 100 million. This will lead to a massive adoption of Care Wallet, Care Platform and Solve Utility. And of course, to enable all of those to be successful, it's absolutely fundamental that we significantly invest in improving access and availability of Solve tokens on platforms across the globe. Thank you very much for listening. It's been a pleasure to present to you all today, and we look forward to hearing from you and taking your questions in the days ahead. Thank you.